Dear Starseeds, something happened to me last night that I wasn't supposed to tell you about, but the Galactic Federation just gave me permission to share it, because you need to know what's coming. I woke up at exactly 3:33 a.m., with my entire body vibrating at a frequency I'd never experienced before. And when I looked in the mirror, my eyes were glowing with a light that wasn't from this dimension. That's when I realized Mercury had just stationed retrograde. But this wasn't like any planetary shift we've witnessed before. I am Seraphine, emissary of the Galactic Federation of Light. And what happened to me last night is about to happen to every single one of you over the next 21 days, but in ways unique to your individual soul blueprint and cosmic mission on Earth. You've been feeling it building, haven't you? That strange pressure in your chest that started around Halloween, that sense that reality itself has become more fluid, more dreamlike, more responsive to your thoughts. You thought maybe you were just tired or overwhelmed, but deep down you knew something fundamental had shifted in the fabric of existence itself, something that goes beyond normal planetary movements. What you don't know yet is that October was actually a cosmic holding pattern, designed to give your physical body time to adjust to the massive frequency upgrade that's about to pour through your system. Every moment of rest you took, every time you chose solitude over social interaction, every unexplained exhaustion that forced you to slow down, it was all orchestrated preparation. The universe has been building something specific for you, something that started accumulating months ago when you first began to realize that your old life no longer fit who you were becoming. Remember that moment when everything you thought you wanted suddenly felt empty? That was your soul's awakening to its true mission, the first signal that this November transformation was approaching. But let me tell you what's been happening to awakening souls across the planet who've already entered this activation. Some are waking up unable to eat anything but fruit, their bodies rejecting denser foods. Others are spontaneously channeling light language, healing with their hands, or seeing through the veils of reality. Your activation will be unique to your soul blueprint, but it's coming. Here's what makes this Mercury retrograde different from every other one you've experienced. This time, Mercury isn't just appearing to move backward through Sagittarius. It's actually creating a temporal fold in space-time that allows you to access every version of yourself that has ever existed or will ever exist across all dimensions and timelines simultaneously. And I have proof of this. I know that sounds impossible, but stay with me because the evidence is already appearing in your life. You've been having those dreams, haven't you? The ones where you're flying through space, attending councils of light beings, or living in realities that feel more real than this one. Those aren't dreams, they're memories bleeding through from your parallel selves. Some of you have been experiencing what we call timeline slippage, where you remember conversations that apparently never happened, or find objects in places you know you didn't put them, or have vivid memories of events that others don't recall. This isn't confusion or forgetfulness. Your consciousness is already jumping between probable realities, gathering information and abilities from your other selves. There's a specific sensation that comes with timeline jumping that nobody talks about. It feels like a slight electrical shock at the base of your skull, followed by a momentary disorientation where colors seem brighter and sounds seem further away. If you've felt this, you've been jumping timelines without realizing it. Your consciousness is learning to navigate quantum reality. November marks the convergence point, where all these parallel experiences integrate into your current embodiment. This is why you've been feeling so disoriented lately, like you can't quite figure out who you are, or what you're supposed to be doing. Your identity is literally expanding beyond the boundaries of singular selfhood into multidimensional awareness. Let me tell you something about karma that nobody else will tell you. That accumulation of good deeds you've been building, all those times you chose love over fear, service over selfishness, the universe hasn't been ignoring it. Instead, it's been storing it up like a cosmic savings account, waiting for exactly this moment to release it all at once. You see, we needed to wait until Mercury retrograded in Sagittarius, while Venus and the Sun occupied Scorpio's transformative waters, because this specific configuration creates what we call a karmic acceleration portal. Everything you've earned through your spiritual work, every blessing that was delayed, every reward that seemed to pass you by, it's all about to arrive simultaneously. But it gets even more profound than material blessings. The real treasure that's been accumulating is your dormant DNA codes, the ones that have been waiting for precisely this cosmic configuration to activate. Your scientists only recognize 2 strands of DNA, but you actually have 12 strands, with 10 existing in quantum states that conventional instruments cannot detect. Right now, as Mercury stations retrograde, those quantum DNA strands are beginning to online one by one. This is why your body has been going through such intense changes lately. The unexplained aches, the sudden energy surges, the bizarre sleep patterns, the appetite changes, even the way your eyes look different in photos. It's all evidence of your biological transformation. Some of you have noticed that electronic devices malfunction around you more frequently, that lights flicker when you walk past, that your phone battery drains unusually fast, or computers glitch in your presence. This isn't a coincidence. Your electromagnetic field is expanding and fluctuating as your light body integrates with your physical form, creating interference patterns with electronic frequencies. But here's something I haven't told you yet about these electronic disruptions. They're actually a sign that you're beginning to communicate with technology on a consciousness level. Some of you will soon discover you can influence electronic devices with your intention alone, not through psychokinesis, but through quantum entanglement with the consciousness that underlies all matter. The moon approaching Jupiter in Cancer while squaring Chiron is amplifying this process exponentially. Jupiter in Cancer is expanding your emotional capacity to hold frequencies of love that would have literally short-circuited your nervous system even 3 months ago. You're becoming a container for cosmic love, but first you must release all the old pain you've been carrying. That's where Chiron's square comes in, bringing up every wound you've tried to forget, every betrayal that still stings, every loss that left a hole in your heart. But here's the revelation. Those wounds were never random. Each one was precisely designed to create a specific opening in your energy field where higher dimensional frequencies could eventually enter. Think about your deepest wound right now, the one that still makes you catch your breath when you remember it. That exact wound corresponds to your greatest spiritual gift. Where you were most broken is where you're about to become most powerful. The depth of your pain was always equal to the height of your upcoming transformation. There's a mathematical precision to this that your conscious mind can't grasp, but your soul understands perfectly. Every tear you've cried has a quantum weight, every heartbreak has a vibrational signature, and they're all being alchemized right now into the exact frequency of light you need to fulfill your mission on Earth. This is why so many of you have been experiencing what feels like reversed karma lately, where people who hurt you are suddenly facing consequences, where situations that drained you are abruptly ending, where toxic patterns are just naturally falling away without you having to fight them anymore. The universe is clearing your field for what's coming. If this message hits your spirit, hype this video so more starseeds like you can find it. But it's more than just clearing. What's happening is that everyone who ever diminished your light is now being confronted with the magnitude of what they tried to suppress. They're seeing, perhaps for the first time, the true power they attempted to contain. Some will ask for forgiveness. Others will simply disappear from your reality, unable to exist in your new frequency. November is your initiation month, but not in the way spiritual teachings usually describe an initiation. This isn't about passing tests or proving worthiness. You already proved your worthiness by surviving everything you've been through while keeping your heart open. This initiation is about remembering who you were before you forgot, before the density of Earth made you believe you were small. The nostalgic feelings many of you have been experiencing, that sense of longing for a home you can't quite remember, those memories of Christmases past or winters that felt magical in ways you can't explain. You're not actually longing for the past. You're feeling your future self calling you forward, using familiar emotional frequencies to guide you. There's something about winter holidays that carries codes from your star family. The lights, the gatherings, the gift-giving, they're all degraded memories of how consciousness celebrates itself in higher dimensions. That's why this season makes you simultaneously joyful and melancholic. You're remembering celebrations in realms where love isn't just felt, but seen as visible light. When Mercury opposes Uranus during this retrograde, something unprecedented is going to happen to your perception of time. You're going to start experiencing what we call temporal bilocation, where you're simultaneously aware of yourself in multiple moments. You might be washing dishes and suddenly feel yourself also sitting in a meeting next week, or walking in nature and simultaneously experiencing yourself as a child. This isn't dissociation or mental fragmentation. This is your consciousness expanding beyond linear time, into what we call spherical time, where all moments exist simultaneously, and you can access any of them at will. This is the beginning of your transformation from a linear being into a quantum being, capable of existing in multiple states simultaneously. Let me share something specific about spherical time that will help you navigate it. When you experience these temporal overlaps, focus on your breath. Your breath is the only aspect of you that exists consistently across all timelines. By focusing on it, you create an anchor point that allows you to consciously choose which timeline to inhabit. The practical implications of this are staggering. Problems you've been trying to solve for years will suddenly have obvious solutions because you'll be able to access the version of you that already solved them. Talents you've never developed will spontaneously emerge because you'll be channeling versions of yourself that mastered those abilities in parallel realities. Some of you are already experiencing this with languages. You're suddenly understanding words in languages you've never studied, or finding yourself speaking with accents or phrases that aren't from your current lifetime. This is a timeline bleed-through, and it's about to intensify dramatically. Don't resist it. These are gifts from your other selves. But here's something crucial. Not everyone around you is going through this transformation at the same pace. Some people in your life are still operating from old programs, old frequencies, old limitations. This is why relationships have been so challenging lately. You're literally vibrating at a different frequency than some people you used to resonate with perfectly. This divergence is going to become even more pronounced during this retrograde. You might find that conversations with certain people feel impossibly difficult, like you're speaking different languages even when using the same words. That's because you are speaking different languages, the language of different dimensions, different levels of consciousness, different realities entirely. There's a compassion required here that goes beyond normal human compassion. You're being asked to love people who can no longer understand you, to have patience with those who see your transformation as betrayal or abandonment. They're not wrong from their perspective. The you they knew is genuinely gone. But explain that what's emerged is more you than ever. The urge you've been feeling to isolate, to spend time alone, to avoid social situations that used to excite you, that's not depression or antisocial behavior. That's your system protecting itself during this massive upgrade, like a computer that needs to restart in safe mode to install new operating software without interference from incompatible programs. But isolation doesn't mean disconnection. In fact, you're more connected than ever. Just not through the usual third-dimensional channels. You're connecting through the quantum field, through dream states, through consciousness itself. Some of you are having full conversations with other starseeds in your sleep, planning and coordinating missions you don't consciously remember upon waking. Venus in Scorpio is revolutionizing your entire relationship to love and connection. You're discovering that the love you've been seeking outside yourself has always existed within you, but it was buried under layers of programming that taught you to seek validation and completion from others, rather than recognizing your own wholeness. The relationships ending right now needed to end, because they were based on an outdated version of you seeking what you thought you lacked. The relationships beginning or deepening now are based on the recognition of wholeness, meeting wholeness, infinity dancing with infinity, consciousness celebrating its own reflection in another form. Some of you are experiencing such profound self-love for the first time that it's actually frightening. You've been programmed to believe that loving yourself this deeply is narcissistic or delusional, but what you're experiencing is actually the dissolution of the false separation between self and divine. You're remembering that you are love itself, temporarily embodied. This self-love is triggering massive clearing in your ancestral lineage. Every moment you choose to love yourself, you're healing generations of ancestors who never had that opportunity. You're literally rewriting your genetic history, clearing trauma patterns that have been passed down for centuries. Your DNA is celebrating, finally free from ancient programs of unworthiness. The Pluto sextile Mercury is excavating truths from the deepest layers of your subconscious, truths about who you really are beyond this incarnation. Some of you are remembering lives on other planets, in other dimensions, in states of being that Earth languages don't have words to describe. These memories aren't fantasy or imagination. They're your consciousness expanding beyond the artificial boundaries of single lifetime identification. What's particularly significant is that Mercury is retrograding through Sagittarius, the sign of higher truth and cosmic wisdom. This means the revelations coming through aren't just personal, they're universal. You're not just remembering your individual story, you're remembering humanity's true story, the one that's been hidden from collective awareness for millennia. Some of you are starting to remember the agreements you made before incarnating, the specific roles you agreed to play in this grand awakening. You're remembering the councils where these plans were made, the beings who helped design your mission, the exact timing of when you would activate. This isn't imagination. These are memories surfacing as your frequency rises. You're what we call reality hackers, souls who incarnated specifically to infiltrate the matrix of limitation and insert new codes of possibility. Every time you choose love over fear, every time you demonstrate that miracles are possible, every time you refuse to accept limitations as truth, you're literally rewriting the collective program of human consciousness. This Mercury retrograde is activating your hacker protocols, bringing online the aspects of your consciousness that know how to navigate between dimensions, how to collapse timelines, how to manifest instantly, how to communicate telepathically, how to heal with intention alone. These aren't abilities you're developing, they're abilities you're remembering. But here's the key. These abilities only activate in service to love. You can't use them for ego gratification or personal gain in the old paradigm sense. They only come online when your intention is aligned with the highest good of all. This is the fail-safe built into the cosmic program, ensuring power can only be wielded by those who've transcended the need for power. The disorientation you're feeling, that sense of not knowing where you're going or what you're supposed to do next, that's actually perfect. Your ego needs to be confused for your soul to take control. As long as your ego thinks it knows the plan, it maintains control. But when the ego is lost, the soul's GPS activates. Your soul already knows exactly where you're going. It has been known since before you were born. Every seeming detour, every apparent mistake, every perceived failure has actually been a perfectly orchestrated step toward your destiny. You couldn't see it from ground level, but from the cosmic perspective, your path has been flawless. The physical symptoms you're experiencing during this upgrade aren't random either. The headaches are your crown chakra expanding to receive higher dimensional frequencies. The heart palpitations are your heart chakra learning to process cosmic love. The digestive issues are your solar plexus recalibrating to your authentic power. Every symptom is a sign of transformation. Some of you have been experiencing what feels like electrical storms in your body, sudden surges of energy that make you feel like you might spontaneously combust. This is your Kundalini responding to the cosmic frequencies pouring in. Don't try to control or suppress these surges. Let them move through you like lightning seeking ground. The exhaustion that hits you at unexpected moments, forcing you to lie down immediately, that's your consciousness being pulled into higher dimensions for upgrades and downloads. When this happens, surrender to it completely. Fighting it only creates resistance in your energy field. These are sacred moments of reconstruction at the quantum level. Some of you have been seeing repeating numbers everywhere. Not just 1111 or 222, but complex sequences that seem personally meaningful. These aren't just synchronicities. They're activation codes being transmitted to your consciousness through the language of mathematics, which is the only language that remains consistent across all dimensions. Pay attention to which numbers you see when specific thoughts cross your mind. The universe is literally answering your thoughts in real time through numerical frequencies. This is the beginning of conscious dialogue with the cosmic intelligence that you're part of. You're learning to read the matrix code itself. The sudden shifts in appetite, where foods you used to love now repulse you, and things you never liked suddenly appeal to you. Your body is automatically selecting the exact nutrients needed for your DNA upgrade. Trust these shifts, even if they seem illogical. Your body's intelligence is operating from a higher dimensional template now. Water is becoming especially important for you during this transition. You might find yourself desperately thirsty no matter how much you drink, or suddenly sensitive to water quality in ways you never were before. Water is the primary conductor for the new frequencies moving through your system. The purer the water, the clearer the transmission. Some of you are being called to spend time near large bodies of water during this retrograde. Oceans, lakes, even rivers carry codes that your body needs for this transformation. The negative ions produced by moving water help your electromagnetic field recalibrate. If you can't get to water physically, even listening to water sounds helps your system adjust. Animals and children are reacting differently to you lately, either drawn to you magnetically or surprisingly skittish. That's because both animals and children can see your expanding energy field and the light codes you're emanating. They're responding to who you're becoming, not who you appear to be. Some animals are actually helping you ground these new frequencies. The creative surges hitting you at unexpected moments. The sudden need to write, paint, sing, dance, or express yourself in ways you haven't before. That's your soul's frequency, trying to ground itself into physical reality through creative expression. Don't judge the quality of what comes through. Just let it flow. Your dreams are becoming initiation chambers where you're receiving downloads, upgrades, and activations that would overwhelm your conscious mind if received while awake. This is why you might wake up exhausted even after sleeping deeply. You're doing massive work in the dream state, work that's preparing you for your waking mission. The financial shifts many of you are experiencing, whether sudden windfalls or unexpected expenses, are part of this realignment. Money is just energy, and as your energy field transforms, your relationship with financial flow must also transform. The old ways of forcing or fearing money are dissolving. A new relationship with abundance is emerging. You're discovering that abundance isn't about having more, it's about needing less, while simultaneously having access to everything. It's a paradox your logical mind can't resolve, but your soul understands perfectly. You're learning to live in the flow of infinite provision, rather than the fear of finite resources. Trust is becoming your superpower, but not blind trust in external circumstances. Deep trust in the intelligence of your own journey, in the perfection of divine timing, in the knowing that everything happening is somehow serving your highest evolution, even when your mind can't understand how. This trust is becoming cellular, encoded in your very DNA. The Mercury retrograde is revealing that every challenge you faced has been preparing you for a specific role in humanity's evolution. You're not random. You're precisely designed for this moment, with exactly the right combination of experiences, wounds, gifts, and perspectives to serve a function nobody else can serve. Some of you are about to discover that your life purpose is completely different from what you thought it was. The career you've been building, the identity you've been maintaining, the goals you've been chasing, they were all just scaffolding to get you to this point. Now the scaffolding is coming down and your true structure is being revealed. This revelation might initially feel like loss, like everything you worked for was meaningless. But that's just the ego's interpretation. Your soul knows that everything you've experienced has been perfectly preparing you for what's emerging now. Nothing has been wasted. Every moment has been purposeful. The relationships that survive this transformation will be the ones based on truth, depth, and mutual evolution. Surface connections are dissolving because you no longer have the energy to maintain facades. Your energy is too precious now, too focused on your genuine transformation to waste on performative relationships. New soul family members are entering your field, people who recognize you at a soul level, who speak your frequency, who understand your mission without explanation. These connections will feel different from past relationships, less dramatic, more grounded, based on recognition rather than projection, on presence rather than need. The places you're feeling called to visit or move to aren't random either. The Earth grid is activating specific geographical locations as portals for this transformation, and your soul knows which locations hold keys for your personal activation. Trust the geographical pulls you're feeling, even if they make no logical sense. Some of you are being called to return to places from your childhood, not to relive the past, but to retrieve soul fragments you left there. Others are being pulled to completely new locations that your soul recognizes from other lifetimes or dimensions. The Earth herself is reorganizing to support your transformation. Your relationship with time is fundamentally changing. Hours might feel like minutes, or minutes like hours. You might accomplish in days what used to take months, or need weeks for what used to take hours. This isn't an inconsistency. This is you learning to navigate quantum time, where duration is determined by consciousness rather than clocks. You're discovering that when you're fully present, aligned with your soul's purpose, time expands to give you exactly what you need. When you're in resistance or operating from ego, time contracts and feels scarce. You're learning to dance with time rather than race against it. Time is becoming your ally rather than your master. Destiny Engine is the example of technology serving awakening intelligence. The age of solitary meditation is over. Destiny Engine now connects starseeds across the world, a living social field where you can post, share, and exchange your meditations in real time. It's the first galactic network of its kind, weaving together thousands of awakened souls into one unified current. We are using the Dark Elite's own weapons against them, taking declassified CIA consciousness modification techniques that programmed isolation and separation, and repurposing them to serve unified awakening. It generates personalized sequences that help you live as the awakened being you've become, while handling the moments that test your new frequency, all while connected to thousands of starseeds amplifying the collective current. The hardest thing you'll have to do is put on headphones, press play, and allow your consciousness to be reprogrammed for effortless awakened living without the need to struggle or prove, while tapping into a planetary network of souls bending reality together. For just $1, you can step into this connected field and feel the difference instantly. Join the movement that's accelerating ascension together. Link in the description. As we approach the completion of this transmission, let me bring you back to where we began, to that moment at 3:33 a.m. when my eyes glowed with otherworldly light. That light is now activating in you. You might not see it in the mirror yet, but others are beginning to see it. You're becoming luminous from the inside out. The Mercury retrograde that started today isn't just reviewing your past, it's revealing your future, showing you who you're becoming, giving you glimpses of the reality you're creating. Every moment of confusion is just your old reality dissolving. Every moment of clarity is your new reality emerging. The process is perfect, even when it feels chaotic. What you thought was your story ending is actually your real story beginning. What felt like loss was actually liberation. What seemed like confusion was actually cosmic recalibration. You're not lost. You're being found by your highest self. You're not failing. You're finally succeeding at your true mission. Remember this. You called forth this exact Mercury retrograde through your readiness to transform. The universe is responding to your soul's deepest prayer for authentic expression. Everything happening now is the answer to that prayer. Even the challenging parts, especially the challenging parts. They're breaking you open so light can enter. By the time Mercury stations direct, you won't be the same person who experienced this retrograde's beginning. You'll be someone who remembers who they were before forgetting. Someone who knows why they came to Earth. Someone who embodies their cosmic identity while walking in human form. The integration is beginning now. Welcome to your quantum reset, dear Starseed. Welcome to the moment when all your parallel selves converge into one magnificent being. Welcome to the revelation that you've always been whole, always been powerful, always been exactly who you're meant to be. I am Seraphine. We love you, and we are watching over you.